Today we're going to talk about 5 keto recipes that blew us away and that you definitely need to try. And if you're new here, my twin sister Sarah and I have lost a combined total of 160 pounds since 2019. So we have been on keto for 4 years, more than 4 years now.
Let's just say 4 years.
Yeah. And we try a lot of recipes here on our channel. In fact, we have like 335 videos. And we like most of the recipes that we try. We do try to pick things that we think are going to be successful. But some of them just have stuck out so much in our mind that we have incorporated them into our day-to-day lives. So if you feel yourself bored on keto, eating the same old thing, we are going to go over our 5 biggest hacks that are going to change everything for you, because they did for us. So it's the summer right now, and my husband is absolutely obsessed with watermelon. He buys watermelon every time he goes to the grocery store, and I always feel so jealous because I used to love watermelon too. And you would think, oh, watermelon, it's just pretty much water and it's sweet, right? It can't be that bad carb-wise, but it is. So 1 cup of watermelon is about 12 net carbs. You know how big a watermelon slice is? That's several cups of watermelon. So a couple of years ago, Sarah and I actually came across a TikTok hack where you can replicate the taste of a watermelon for way less carbs.
Like 0 carbs.
Well,
actually.
I think that 1 cup of cucumber is about 2 net carbs. So what is this hack? I actually have had this several times since then. It's so good. It's cucumber and your sweetener of choice. And you might say, this is crazy. How is it going to work? Well, cucumbers and watermelon are kind of like in the same family genetically. Mm-hmm. So what are they missing? They are missing the red color and they are missing the sugar content. So you can take cucumber. Is this allulose?
Yes.
And you can put a little bit of allulose on it. And if you're worried about the bitterness, because the skin will kind of taste like the bitterness of a watermelon rind, just peel it first.
Yeah. It definitely does taste like a watermelon, and I have so many cucumbers in the summer because that's like one of the easiest vegetables for me to grow, that I always have a couple of cucumbers in the fridge. So it's a great snack when you're craving something sweet, but you don't want all the carbs.
Right.
I wonder if you can use other sweeteners. We've only tried it with allulose because that's primarily what we have on hand, but maybe with like stevia or erythritol, maybe it would work the same. I don't know.
So if you're bored on keto, the second recipe that we're going to recommend you try is fathead dough. Sarah and I have tried many different fathead dough recipes here on our channel, and it's basically a dough that's made out of almond flour and cheese, or sometimes there's even cream cheese in it. What I like about fathead dough is that it can go sweet or it can go savory. So if you're looking to make an apple pie, which we have made with fathead dough, you would never be able to have that on keto, but you can if you do a chayote apple pie with fathead dough. And that was actually super delicious. Mm-hmm. We've made keto-friendly Pop-Tarts out of fathead dough. You can make pizza out of fathead dough.
And we also made pretzels out of fathead dough.
Right. And we even made Korean corn dogs out of fathead dough.
Those are really good.
Right. The fathead dough is very interesting because it tastes like a regular dough.
Which is really strange because it's like pretty much cheese and almond flour. But the way that you knead it, you can also see when you look at fathead dough, it has flaky layers, which it's weird since it's not made of flour.
Right. So if you're bored on keto and you're looking for a new pizza crust, if you're looking for a way to make a keto dessert using a pie crust, try fathead dough. The third hack that we came across, I think it was on TikTok originally, but it's been so long since we started using this hack, was the Ravioli Hack that Sarah and I use all the time now on our channel. It is using Sargento provolone cheese slices or rounds as the shell for ravioli. This really changed a lot for me.
Yeah.
When you melt the cheese and you fill it and then you let it get cool, it has the consistency of a dough. The first time we tried it, we used like a butternut squash filling.
Was that the first time ever? I don't remember.
I think the first time that we tried the Ravioli Hack, we did like a butternut squash with goat cheese for like a fall spin on ravioli, and it was really, really delicious. We did a mushroom pate ravioli, and that was absolutely delicious. We have done a meat-filled one with just your typical like tomato-based sauce. This hack is so versatile because anything that you could fit into a ravioli, you can put into these keto-friendly raviolis. I will just warn you though that they are very filling and very calorically dense. Mm-hmm. So just be careful. Your eyes might be bigger than your stomachs.
You might be eating like 12 raviolis. You probably can only eat 4 of these. Right. Because that cheese has a lot of protein in it. It fills you up quick.
You can use this as anything as like a dumpling that you wouldn't heat up because remember that it's cheese. So we have used it to make keto pierogi, which is a Polish dumpling that's traditionally filled with potato and cheese filling, but we filled it with a cauliflower mash plus cheddar filling. We put a little bit of sour cream, onion, bacon on top. That is like one of my favorite dishes now.
And some people ask, like, what other cheese could you use if you can't find provolone? I think that provolone is just smoked mozzarella.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know.
But I think those are very similar in consistency. You just have to be careful when you're putting it in the oven that you don't melt it too much.
Right.
There's a point when you're not going to be able to recover. You can't really eat them hot.
Right.
So you could put a nice hot sauce on it.
Right.
These are meant to be room temperature.
Or warm.
Or warm, yeah.
I tried to microwave it one time. I
And
don't
it
know
just
what I
became
was
a
thinking.
blob?
Yeah, it became a
Which
blob.
still tastes good.
It did. I mean, it wasn't like a dumpling anymore. It was a blob.
Yeah.
So I think that that's one of those hacks that we just go back to because it just makes sense and it's easy to figure out new and exciting fillings for. And Sarah and I have never been disappointed when we have tried that recipe. Next up, we're going to talk about the original recipe that changed our lives. And do you want to take one guess at what that recipe is?
Our chaffles?
Right. There was a long time where I did not want to try a chaffle. I did not want to make one. I saw all the recipes out there and I tried it for the first time and it tasted more like an egg than it did a bread replacement. It tasted like an egg.
Mm-hmm.
And it was floppy and wet and too moist for my liking for sure. And so Sarah started playing around in the kitchen and decided to see what she could tweak out of a chaffle recipe to create something that's better. Because I can understand liking it in the beginning, but like eating it so many times, it's like eggs can be super overpowering for me personally, and I just don't like the egg taste all the time. So Sarah said, I think I have something one day in January of 2021, and she made our new chaffle recipe for me, and it was like tasting a Cheez-It mixed with bread. I couldn't believe the difference. It was dry, crunchy, airy. And so we came out with our new chaffle recipe for 2021. Our chaffle recipe is a little different from other people's chaffle recipes because we really cut back on the liquid in the recipe. So our recipe is literally cheese, xanthan gum, a couple tablespoons of egg whites, and almond flour. So our chaffle is different because we don't add a lot of moisture inside, and when you cook it, we tend to cook it a little bit over to the point where it is so crunchy and it's on the lighter side.
Yeah.
It's not dense, and you can even make it as like thin as possible. You don't need to fill every crevice of your Dash mini waffle maker. We like ours to be almost like a cracker. And I have eaten this with sandwiches and burgers and used it to dip in soups and on top of salads. Chaffles that are crunchy change the game for us, and they can for you. A lot of people say our chaffles are too crunchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is funny because I don't know if that's possible. Because when I'm on keto, I really miss like crunch. Using chaffles in a variety of different ways can give you that crunch. So if you haven't tried our chaffle recipe, which I doubt it because most people found us through our chaffle recipe, you definitely need to try it. We're going to leave all the links to all the videos in the description below. If you make chaffles often, please save yourself the time by investing in a Dash 4-unit mini waffle maker. I remember making chaffles one by one and it just took forever because it takes about 5 minutes per chaffle and you're just standing there. This can make 4 at a time. It's completely worth the money. It goes on sale often, so keep an eye out. We'll leave a link to that below. But chaffles were definitely one of the things that have kept me on this lifestyle for so long because I don't feel like I'm missing out on much. So definitely try chaffles if you're feeling bored on keto already, if you're tired of eating the same old thing. Chaffles are an amazing tool to make you feel like you're not missing out on keto. The next food that we're going to talk about isn't necessarily just one thing, but it's kind of a trend that has been sweeping the internet in 2023, and that is using cottage cheese.
For everything.
I'm a person that would just eat cottage cheese straight out of the container. Not gonna lie. I've always liked cottage cheese. There's like a renaissance of people that have figured out that cottage cheese is good now, and they're using it in all different types of recipes. So on our channel, Sarah and I have been incorporating some of these recipes, checking them out, and honestly, they're really, really good. You can use cottage cheese mixed in with scrambled eggs to make it light and fluffy. We've used cottage cheese mixed with pancake batter to make super light and fluffy pancakes. We've used cottage cheese as like a base for ice cream. And if you like cheesecake, like the taste of cheesecake, then you will like cottage cheese as a base for ice cream. If you don't like cheesecake, you won't.
Yeah.
But we do like cheesecake, so we really like that one.
We even used cottage cheese one time to make a keto-friendly cookie dough that was super delicious and tasted so good. And we had it in our refrigerator for days, and I would just go in and take a nice scoop and eat it over like a couple days. It was amazing. Really simple too. I feel like there were only like 4 ingredients or something. Almond flour, cottage cheese, Lily's dark chocolate chips and like sweetener.
Yeah. That was one of the recipes that I had a lot of apprehension about when we were trying it. And when I tried it, I said, this tastes like cookie dough. Of course, being keto for so long, it's not like we had the opportunity to try cookie dough in the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was ever the person that would like go out and buy cookie dough to eat it
Raw?
prepackaged.
Oh. No.
I was the person that would be making cookies very rarely and then lick even though that's like, salmonella, the bad for you or whatever. That's what cookie dough
I would never buy
eat.
edible cookie dough. Right.
And so if you guys are like a cookie dough fanatic, definitely try that recipe because that one really shocked us at how good it was. It could be great just having it in the refrigerator for you if you're looking for a little bit of dessert. The next mind-blowing recipe that Sarah and I tried that we've been making all the time, it also has to do with cottage cheese, but it's cooking it. So I was scrolling on the internet one day and I was looking for a recipe for keto chips. And Sarah and I have made a lot of keto chips on our channel using like cheese slices or tortillas.
Vegetables.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I came across a recipe that looked like a Lay's potato chips. You know how Lay's potato chips are super thin? You can almost like see through them. They don't look like a tortilla that is cut out like a chip. And when I saw this picture, I almost thought like the picture was a stock photo or something because it didn't
real.
It didn't look real, right? And so it was called Cottage Cheese Chips by a website called perspectiveportions.com. So we decided, okay, let's try this recipe, whatever. It probably won't work. And so you're supposed to be using like a not lesser quality, but like not something with no additives for this recipe because the additives are the thing in the recipe that are going to keep it together.
Yeah.
So we cooked these on a pan because that's what she did in the original recipe. And I burnt myself. It was very difficult. It took a long time. We used a nonstick pan. We have nonstick pans that we use all the time and they are beautiful and they work great. But cooking them on a pan took a long time. But the ones that we did get correct, they were really good.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
They were light. They were really thin. They were crunchy. They were awesome. And
but
so,
they took like an hour.
Right. We made 5 chips in an hour or something like that. So
that video went live and so many of you guys in our Facebook group, which is a great community of people that watch our videos and enjoy our videos and then comment sometimes on our videos and our recipes and then sometimes improve them. They went into that group and they really troubleshooted this recipe and many of them found out that microwaving it actually worked better than putting it in the pan and cooking it that way. So we actually took a couple of the suggestions that we found in that group and applied it to the next batch of chips that we made. And they came out so much better. And those took a while to make too.
Right.
And then we took those chips and then we dipped them in some like flavorings that we found on Amazon. Those flavorings were really delicious and it really made you feel like you were eating like a bag of Lay's.
Like a legit thin potato chip.
Yeah. They were
not
really, really good.
An almond flour thick chip, not like a chip that's made out of seeds.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with those types of things. You want
the thing that you can't have.
Right. Mm-hmm. And this is the closest thing to that. And so we were so excited that you guys helped us master this recipe and then share it and then continue to share it with all of you. And that's the kind of thing that we love on this channel. Sarah and I are not experts in the kitchen. We barely know what we're doing.
Barely.
We are an entertainment channel, people, okay? And if we can make these recipes, the point is that you can too. We are not chefs.
So we definitely do read your comments.
Yeah.
We apply your comments, your tips, your tricks, and we try to improve the recipe. And with that, the next recipe that we did, I actually went a step further and decided to add in some mashed potato flake into the chip. And just to see how it would work with the consistency of it. And that chip by far was a game changer for me.
We were afraid of the outrage that we were going to get from people, but Sarah and I are relaxed about keto. What we care about is, can we keep the carb count under a certain threshold?
We're trying to be in this for the long term.
Right. We are not trying to stress ourselves out over ingredients because to us, life is way too short. We're eating way better than we did 4 years ago. We feel 1,000 times better than we did 4 years ago, and we are relaxed about this. And I just feel like when you tell people that this is bad and this is not keto, then you're going to lose a lot of people along the way who are going to say, you know what?
I can't do it
at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to order the worst thing ever. Because that's how I used to be. You don't need to be super strict if you don't want to be. And if you do want to be, there are plenty of people that watch us that are strict.
And we're not saying that you should eat all this stuff every day.
No.
You're going to make 100,000 chips. that's not going to be keto because it's going to kick you out of ketosis. So the point of our channel is to stay relaxed about it, take it one meal at a time, be a little dirty, be clean when you want to, but stay on track. And we are in it for the long term, and we hope that you guys are too.
So those are our 5 hacks, recipes that really blew us away, recipes that we now incorporate all the time into our lifestyle and use all the time.
And if you guys have any life-changing keto recipes that you incorporate in your lifestyle, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear it. And if you like our content, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 250,000 subscribers this year. Subscribing is free, but it really does support our channel. If you want to see the video where we made our favorite dish from Olive Garden, keto, you can click on the video on the screen and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily,
and we are the Keto Twins signing out.